Good morning. Today we are going to make a ham and bean soup. The recipe calls for canned northern beans or navy beans. I choose to use the dried beans. I use the these are dried navy beans. I had them soaking overnight. What I have here, let me turn this where you can see. What I have here is I have my ham that I purchased. It calls for a pound of ham. I'm making a lot more than what the recipe calls for, because once I get it mixed up, I will can some of it and then I'll cook the rest of it for lunch, supper. But I've got my ham. I have a black forest ham. I have my chopped onions, my chopped garlic, my bay leaves, and my thyme. Here I have saved all of the skins from my garlic and my onions, because I will, after I get a lot of them, I'll put those in the dehydrator. Then I will let them dry real good, grind them up, and then you have onion powder. I have my skillet heating up. I'll put butter in it. I'm going to just saute these onions real good. I use the butter. I don't use the shortening vegetable margarine, whatever it is. I don't use that. I use butter. Since I'm making a lot more than the recipe calls for, I have more than 2 tablespoons of butter. I almost forgot. I have my carrots that I had chopped and frozen. I've had them, they've thawed out overnight. I'll chop those a little smaller. I have a glove on to handle the onions, because no old-fashioned remedy, rub a knife on it, blah, blah. None of that works on getting the onion smell off of my hands. I normally get my husband to chop up the onions at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's still asleep. So I wear a glove. My hands will smell like a sweaty armpit or something. I can't get it off. We'll chop the ham last. I like to do all of my vegetables on my chopping block first. Oh, we lost some carrots. These might not have to be chopped a lot smaller. Some of them are pretty thick, so I'm just going to sort through and chop those, the thickest ones. Okay. Go ahead and put my chicken broth in here. The recipe calls for 4 cups. I'm making a lot more, so it's going to take more than 4 cups. If I don't have my own chicken broth that I've made, I usually buy 100% natural chicken broth. Smoked paprika. The recipe calls for 1 tablespoon. Again, I'm making a lot more. I use white pepper. I don't use black pepper unless I'm cooking with turmeric. If I'm using turmeric, I will use the black pepper to activate all of the goodness in the turmeric. This is just a little something we prefer. A little bit of pepper flakes. As you know, you go a little easy with the pepper flakes because they can get a little spicy. I'll drain my beans. I have my navy beans. My northern beans. I have those. They've soaked overnight. I washed them and then let them soak. I picked out any ones that I didn't really like the way they looked. Go ahead and put that in the pot. and then it called for 2 or 3 sprigs of thyme. What I will do is I will set the thyme on top of the pot while it's cooking, or I will put some thyme in the jars when I go to can it. If I'm cooking it, I'll have this just sitting on the top with the bay leaves, and I'll take it out once it's done. For my jars, I will chop it and have it inside the jars. Going to, of course, have to add salt. This is pink Himalayan salt. That's what we use here. You use whatever salt you prefer. I didn't put a whole lot in there right now because the ham is going to have salt. The chicken broth has salt. My butter is unsalted. So I'll do a taste test before I start canning and finishing the cooking process to make sure it has enough salt and black pepper in it. Don't judge me over the little bit of salt that you just saw go in there, because that was a tablespoon and a half of salt. These onions are so pretty. Watch yourself. When I get this cubed up, I'll put it in my colander and rinse it off. Don't think I didn't wash my ham off. Got the ham washed and diced. Alright, now that our jars are full the way that we want them, since this has butter and meat, there could be a possibility of oil being on the rim. If there is, it will not seal. If there's any seasoning or anything stuck or a chip in the glass, it won't seal. We'll just get a little vinegar, not a lot, just a little, and go around the edges to make sure that there's no oil residue. Run your finger around it to make sure there's no rough edges or seasoning stuck to it. Once that's done, you put your lids on. You'll just do them finger tight. You don't have to just do it tight, just like that. Now, once you have that done, just place them in your canner. This will have to be pressure canned. It has meat in it. It has a meat product, like the chicken broth. So this will have to be processed an hour and a half. You'll bring it up to pressure. And for my altitude, you'll have to search and see what your altitude is. For my altitude, it's 10 pounds of pressure. I'll put my lid on, turn the heat up a little bit, make sure we're centered on the eye. I wait until steam is coming out of here, a steady stream, not spitting, a steady stream. Once that steady stream starts, I will set my timer for 10 minutes. Once that 10 minutes is over, I will put my weight on there. This is a 10-pound weight. I will put my weight on here like this. Once it starts jiggling, you don't want it going crazy. You just want it jiggling a little. Because if it's going crazy, it'll boil all your water out and your jars will bust. Just put it on there and you want it going just a little. Once it starts that, I will set my timer for an hour and a half. Once the timer goes off, I will let it sit here, let the pressure go down before I do anything with it. Come back and take my jars out.